Welcome back to Fluent Pulse, where powerful stories help you improve your English naturally. Some people change history with kindness, others change it with fear. Today's story is about a man whose name still shocks the world decades later. A man who started as a lonely child with impossible dreams and became one of the most dangerous leaders in human history. This is the rise and fall of Adolf Hitler. Listen carefully, improve your English, and discover how ambition without humanity can destroy millions of lives. The story begins in a small Austrian town called Braunau am Inn. On April 20th, 1889, a baby boy named Adolf Hitler was born to Alois and Clara Hitler. Nobody could imagine that this quiet child would one day change the course of history forever. As a young boy, Adolf loved drawing buildings and landscapes. He dreamed of becoming a famous artist. While other children played games outside, Adolf often sat alone sketching pictures and imagining a better future. But life inside his home was difficult. His father, Alois, was a strict and angry man. He wanted Adolf to work as a government officer, not an artist. "Art will never feed you," his father would say. Adolf hated these arguments. The tension inside the house slowly filled him with frustration and loneliness. Only his mother, Clara, truly supported him. She believed her son had talent. She protected him whenever his father became too harsh. Adolf loved his mother deeply and trusted her more than anyone else in the world. But tragedy arrived early. When Adolf was only 13 years old, his father suddenly died. Although their relationship had been difficult, the loss still affected him deeply. After his father's death, Adolf lost interest in school. His grades became worse. Teachers described him as intelligent but lazy. Inside his mind, he still carried one dream: to become an artist. A few years later, Adolf moved to Vienna, the beautiful capital of Austria. He believed this city would finally change his life. Vienna was filled with music, art, and culture. Adolf walked through the streets imagining himself as a successful painter. Soon he applied to the famous Academy of Fine Arts. He waited nervously for the results. Then came the rejection. The Academy refused to accept him. His paintings were judged as not good enough. Adolf was devastated. Still, he refused to give up. The next year he applied again, and once again, he was rejected. This second failure crushed him emotionally. Without education or stable work, Adolf's life became miserable. He rented tiny, dirty rooms, sold small paintings to tourists, and sometimes slept in homeless shelters. The young man who dreamed of becoming an artist was now poor, lonely, and angry at the world. Then another tragedy destroyed him emotionally. His beloved mother, Clara, died from cancer. Adolf felt completely alone. The pain, failure, and bitterness growing inside him slowly started changing his personality. Years passed. Then, in 1914, Europe exploded into war. This was the beginning of World War I. For Adolf, the war suddenly gave his life purpose. He joined the German army and became a soldier. For the first time in years, he felt important. He carried dangerous messages across battlefields and showed courage during combat. Other soldiers respected him for his discipline and loyalty. Adolf even received medals for bravery. But the war ended in disaster for Germany. In 1918, Germany lost the war. The country entered chaos. People were hungry, unemployed, and furious. Many Germans believed their nation had been humiliated. Adolf blamed politicians and powerful groups for Germany's suffering. His anger became stronger than ever. After the war, Adolf discovered something unexpected. He had a powerful voice. He joined a small political group called the German Workers' Party. During meetings, Adolf gave emotional speeches full of anger, passion, and promises. People listened carefully. His words gave frustrated citizens hope. Soon, Adolf became the center of attention. The party later changed its name to the Nazi Party. Adolf designed its famous swastika symbol and promised that Germany would rise again stronger than before. As Germany's economic problems became worse, more people began following him. Families struggled to buy food. Jobs disappeared. Fear spread everywhere. Adolf used this national pain to increase his popularity. He promised power, stability, and pride. But his ideas were also filled with hatred and dangerous blame. In 1923, Adolf attempted to seize control of the government by force during an event known as the Beer Hall Putsch. The attempt failed badly. He was arrested and sent to prison, but even prison became an opportunity. While sitting inside his prison cell, Adolf wrote a book called Mein Kampf, meaning My Struggle. Inside the book, he explained his political beliefs, ambitions, and extreme ideas about race and power. The book helped spread his message across Germany. After leaving prison, Adolf changed his strategy. Instead of using violence immediately, he focused on winning his power legally through politics. And slowly, it worked. By 1933, Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. Millions celebrated him as a national hero. He promised jobs. He promised economic recovery. He promised strength. And for a short time, Germany did become economically stronger. Factories reopened, roads were built, unemployment decreased. Many ordinary citizens believed Adolf had saved the country. But behind the scenes, something dangerous was happening. Freedom slowly disappeared. Newspapers were controlled. Opposition parties were silenced. People who disagreed with the government were arrested. Fear became part of everyday life. Adolf also created powerful military organizations like the SS and expanded the Hitler Youth movement to influence young people. Children were taught absolute loyalty to the Nazi government. At the same time, Adolf's speeches became more aggressive. He spoke about expanding German territory and building a massive empire. Then, in 1939, the world changed forever again. Germany invaded Poland. This invasion started World War II. At first, Germany achieved shocking military victories. Country after country fell under Nazi control. Adolf appeared unstoppable. Crowds cheered his name. Many believed Germany would dominate Europe forever. But the war soon became catastrophic. As Adolf expanded the conflict, stronger enemies united against him. The United States, Britain, the Soviet Union. Together they pushed back against Nazi Germany. Meanwhile, one of history's darkest crimes was unfolding. The Holocaust. Under Adolf Hitler's government, millions of Jewish people and other innocent victims were persecuted and murdered. This tragedy remains one of the darkest chapters in human history. Entire families disappeared. Lives were destroyed. Humanity witnessed unimaginable suffering. As the war continued, Germany's situation became hopeless. Cities were destroyed by bombs. Food became scarce. German soldiers died in huge numbers. The people who once admired Adolf slowly began losing faith in him. But Adolf refused to surrender. He became increasingly paranoid and isolated. By 1945, enemy forces surrounded Berlin, Germany's capital. Adolf hid inside an underground bunker with a small group of loyal followers. The man who once stood before massive cheering crowds was now trapped underground while his empire collapsed around him. Inside the bunker was Eva Braun, the woman who had remained loyal to him for years. On April 29th, 1945, Adolf married Eva in a small private ceremony. But there was no celebration. Both of them knew the end was near. Outside explosions shook the city day and night. The Soviet army moved closer with every hour. Finally, on April 30th, 1945, Adolf made his final decision. Rather than being captured alive, Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun took their own lives inside the bunker. He was 56 years old. Shortly afterward, Germany surrendered. The war in Europe ended. But the damage left behind was unimaginable. Millions of people had died. Entire cities were destroyed. Families across the world suffered because of war, hatred, and political extremism. After the war, Germany slowly rebuilt itself into a peaceful democratic country. The world also created new international systems to prevent such disasters from happening again. Today, the story of Adolf Hitler serves as a warning to humanity. It reminds us how dangerous hatred, manipulation, and unchecked power can become. History teaches us important lessons. A leader's words can influence millions. Fear can divide societies, and blind loyalty can lead ordinary people toward terrible actions. That is why compassion, truth, and critical thinking are so important. The world becomes stronger when people respect each other instead of spreading hate. No matter where we come from, we all share the responsibility to build a future based on peace and humanity. Thank you for listening to Fluent Pulse. If you enjoyed improving your English through this historical documentary story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and continue your English learning journey with us. Because every story teaches not only language, but also life.